could, just share the class. That way we can get everybody edified. Shalom. We're the I.S.U.P.K. coming out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. My name is Officer Hamak, and I would like to welcome you to the I.S.U.P.K. Louisville class. And tonight's topic is going to be the Christian church despises their brothers. Now, here in Louisville, there's been a recent rash of shootings within the black community. And you would think with all the violence that has been happening that there would be a slew of Christian pastors that would come forward and say, we want this to stop. Now, they might have one or two, but for the most part, the Christian church is quiet. Now, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding Gen.YAHANNA, we are standing up and saying no to the violence amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? And we're going to bring out some scriptures tonight to prove that the Most High did not want us to hate our brother in our heart. Christ called us to love our brother as ourselves. Now, who is our brother? This is the big misconception in the Christian church. Now, we've been taught that our brother is your fellow man, your fellow human being. But the scriptures say that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, who are the true Israelites by blood, according to the Bible, you are supposed to love your brother amongst your people. Just like the African loves his people, he loves his tribes. The Nigerian loves his people. The Ethiopian love his people. Russian people love their people. All these different races love their people. But black people, we have been taught by the devil to hate our people. And that is not what we are to do. So if I could, let me get the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 7. Would like to remind everybody watching the stream to share the class so that your family and friends can be edified also with tonight's content.
Book of Romans chapter 8 verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
Now, the carnal mind, what is that? That's a person wanting to do what he wants to do, right? Opposed to what the Most High wants you to do. Now, the Most High says to love your brother. What is love? Love in the Bible is not a feeling. It's keeping the commandments of the Most High. You understand? Now, the commandments say that we are not supposed to sleep with our brother's wife. We're not supposed to abuse our children. We're not supposed to have anger in our heart toward that other black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man. But the Christian church, they teach you that it's a war of good and evil. So when a white cop shoots a black man, it's because the black man was evil. And the white cop was on the side of God. And he was just taking out the demon in that black man. That's how you're going to think with that ideology. And if anybody want to, chime anytime, just, put your fist up. Yeah, but we got to understand this because the Christian church has turned us against ourselves. You understand? And tonight's brotherhood class, we got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments so that we can learn to build our nation. And that's only going to be built on brotherhood. The respect for your fellow man that, hey, my brother, you know what I mean? I'm going to respect his children. I'm going to respect his wife. I'm going to respect his property. You understand? But we've been taught to respect our oppressors and not our brother. When that cop comes, and I'm not advocating any kind of violence, but why is it that all these murders are happening in Louisville and the cops are still all right? I'm just saying. I'm not saying go out there and do nothing. Don't misconstrue my words. But what I'm saying is that the proof that you do not love your brother is because you harming your brother and you not standing up against the people that's harming you. Hell, getting beat, abused by the damn slave patrol under the guise of the police force. You understand? And hell, we just got to look at stuff real for what it is, man. In the Christian church, they're not going to talk about this. They're probably praying for the cop. You know what I mean? Well, let's just pray that that God protects him on his duties while he's out there messing with these, dealing with these dangerous, malicious thugs. You know what I mean? And then they put their nose up at you, brother. Put their nose up at you. Go to Walmart and try to buy something in the store. And she's just mean as a snake, that black woman, because she's been turned against you. They give them white Jesus in that church. Now, if they tell them that the most important man to ever live was a white man, how are they going to look at you when they see your woolly hair, your fro, your nappy hair? They're going to look at you as something less, as inferior to that. Therefore, they're going to treat Jesus in their eyes better than you, brother. You know what I mean? And then when you come around, what you want? You're going to get the attitude. You understand? Any more on that?
For it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be.
That's the carnal mind. It's not subject to the law of the Most High. The law of the Most High says, thou shalt not kill, which in the Hebrew means not murder, premeditated. Of course, you can defend your life if you're in danger. But if you love your brother, you would not murder your brother. Here in Louisville this past weekend, what was it like? How many shootings? 12 shootings in less than 24 hours? Something like that? Man, not saying that all of them was black people, but a majority of them was. Hell, there was an incident right there at King's over there on 18th Street where 7 of them got shot all together. You know what I mean? 7 of them out there late at night. We got to change this. Now they asking, why don't y'all brothers do something about, just like y'all shut down that Asian restaurant, why don't y'all do something about the murders of black people in the city? Well, we are doing something about it. You understand? We calling black people to action to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High in the Bible, man. And the only place that you're going to learn that is in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yahanna. Since 1969, we've been teaching that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Israelites according to the Bible, and that the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. Now, that just hurts some of y'all's ears because you don't understand what I mean. Now, devil simply means deceiver. If you do an etymology search on words, devil means deceiver. Now, how do we get deceived? We was told that we was Africans Americans. But African is a name from a white man. Was it Scipio Africanus? In America, Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian map maker. So how the hell are we going to be African American? They gave us any name they felt like giving us out of slavery because we didn't know who we was. We were stripped. We can go into the scriptures. We were stripped of who we was. And part of us coming back as a nation is for us to understand who we are and our laws, how we dealt with each other. You understand? How the Most High required for us to deal with each other. Right. Go ahead.
Right, it's so heavy because I'm just looking at the stream. I just noticed like exactly what the class is called. The Christian Church Dispises there, and that's crazy because all I've been thinking about is the last couple of days is Martin Luther King played a big part in destroying the black community because what he told people was stop blaming the white man, start blaming it's your fault, it's not your fault. But what niggas wouldn't do, excuse my language, they wouldn't actually go in the mirror and just blame themselves. they gonna walk down the block and blame a brother that look just like them, same skin complexion, going through the same thing as them, and that's how the black on black crime just like went out of control. Like, that's all I had.
Most correct. And that's a real astute observation by Officer Amawan Gabar here in Louisville, is that we have been taught to hate ourselves. Matter of fact, drop that and let me get the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44. You understand? We talked about the devil. Now, the devil deceived us. He talked about how we was African American, how we don't know who we are. We got DNA testing and all this stuff like that. Hell, the white man's science is always going to make himself to be the superior race on the earth when it comes down to it. He's really Esau. And the scriptures say he's the base man on the planet.
Right.
We can go into that. Let me get that.
John 8 and 44. Ye are of your father the devil.
Now, this is the white man. You are of your father the devil. What does that mean? You're deceiving black people. You called us African American. You called us spick, monkey, coon, colored, and all these different names. You never did call us Israel, Yasharallah in his Hebrew. You called us everything but who we actually was. You understand? Go ahead.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
This is the Christian church. The lust of your father you will do. Now, I've heard Christian pastors like Creflo Dollar say that the laws of God is done away with. If you follow the law, you cursed. Huh? So if I respect my brother's wife and not sleep with my brother's wife, I'm cursed? That's the law of the Most High. I'm supposed to do that. His argument is that you under the law. It's easier for me not to do that and not to be under the Most High's judgment than for me to claim, I'm plead the blood of white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Just plead the blood, and then I can go out here and be a whoremonger or be some disgusting homosexual or pedophilia. You understand? And that's running rampant in the Catholic Church. They're absolving them of any responsibility, any kind of accountability, and they're getting off scot-free when the Most High never said to do that. Right. You take the innocence of a child, you understand? The child don't know right from wrong right now. They don't understand sex and, how to appropriate that. And then they're in that setting with the Catholic priest. He's supposed to be like a person that's supposed to be a trusted person, a mentor, a guider of morality. And what does he do? He takes advantage of this young child and says, you don't tell no one, or God will get you. He's scared you. And then the person grows up for years and years and years in a messed up frame of mind because the Catholic priest then told you that if you tell what he did to you, that you will be punished by God. So you live your life with condemnation. You understand? But in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander GEN.YAHANNA, we are healing people, man. Commander GEN.YAHANNA is making miracles happen every day, man. Raising the dead. Spiritually. You understand? And he got his officers, his priests and prophets here throughout the United States and abroad to raise up Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, man. Just like, in the book, what was that, Ezekiel? The dry bones, you know what I mean? We got to wake up these dry bones, raise them up, resurrect them. You understand? Ye are of your father the devil. That's in the Christian church, man. All these celebrities, they claim they wear these big crosses around their neck, and they claim they love God, but you never see them in the hood. You don't see them in the West End. And if they do come into the West End, they make sure they go through an organization that's ran by white people. Why don't you come and help out the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge that's ran by black people? We here. You understand? We here. We're not going to misappropriate your funds or anything like that. What we're going to do is we're going to better the community, man. We doing it. Hell, last week, what did we do? Here in Louisville, we called for Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people to boycott that restaurant, that Asian restaurant that held that boy at gunpoint over a broken bottle. Come to find out, it was the wrong boy.
Right.
So what we did was we took to Facebook and we put out a post and we boycott that goddamn stinking restaurant. Now it's gone. And the water for Commander GEN.YAHANNA, you know what I'm saying? He gave us the courage to stand up for black people. We was down there, it was a ghost town. But I tell you who wasn't down there, the Christian pastor wasn't down there. You understand me? He was somewhere, you know, in his Cadillac,
right,
or in his Benz with one of the first lady or one of the church members' wives. You know what I mean? I know that sounds harsh, you know, but we got to wake up to reality because we keep going into the same maze, the maze of lies. We're trying to go this way. We go forward. And there it is, the Christian church. The Christian church didn't work. We turn right. We go right. Then we see the Muslim mosque. That don't work. Then we go back forward. We see Scientology. That don't work. Then we go left. And we see all these weird things, Buddhism, Islam, and it don't work. So we're in a maze of confusion. You understand?
Right.
Drop that and let me get the book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20. You understand? And if anybody got a question, go ahead, you know, just put your hands up. We get your questions answered. Got any questions online? Type them in.
Book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God and hate of his brother, he is a liar.
Now, who is this? Predominantly, it's the Christian church. You understand? Now, why do I say that? Because they always claim they love God, but they will join Esau's military, the white man's military. They'll put a bullet in a damn Arab. You understand me? They're, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. They're so hypocritical. They talk about us and what we're doing, but the Christian church, they do not love their brother. And when I say brother, I'm talking about by blood. Even though they haven't come into the truth, we are still blood brothers by race. You understand? Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They want to say how we was wrong, how we was bigots and all this stuff. Why don't y'all stop picking on Asian people and focus on your own people? Well, that's what we're doing tonight. We're focusing on you and me. I got to respect you, and you got to respect me so that we can build a nation, man, within a Babylonian society. That's right. America is nothing more than Babylon reincarnated. You understand me?
Right.
Babylon was a place of confusion. That's what it is, confusion. You putting all these people together that are not supposed to be together. That's in the scriptures. Matter of fact, go ahead, for the sake of time, go to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. The Most High never intended for us all to come together. You understand me? Because, see, here's the thing. One culture, one race of people, like those Asian people here in Louisville that was serving black people cat and dog and mouses, we don't eat that. The scripture said we wasn't supposed to eat that. We eat stuff like chicken and beef and good stuff. The mouse was unclean. Anything on all fours and paws was unclean. Those are dogs. Them dogs they were serving in that restaurant. And we can't come together with a nation like that. So the Most High knew that. Yes, he did create these people, but he created people for a reason. And he didn't want us to live amongst them people. Read that.
Book of Deuteronomy 32 and 8. When the Most High divided to the nations.
Wait a minute, right there. The Most High divided the nations? Read that again.
When the Most High divided to the nations.
The United States.
Divided to the nations.
He divided the nations. So what are they talking about, this melting pot? Everybody coming together, loving each other in mankind. Read that again.
When the Most High divided to the nations.
When the Most High, when God divided the nations, go ahead.
Their inheritance.
Their inheritance, their land. Go ahead.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
When he did what?
Separated the sons of Adam.
He separated. Now, Martin Luther King, now I know we've been taught that Martin Luther King was his hero and he wanted us to integrate. But when we were segregated, we had more black men in the homes. We had Black Wall Street. Hell, we was flourishing economically. Right. But when we wanted to, because Orgy Mike You know what I'm saying? It came out. The FBI tapes came out.
Yeah.
He was having all kind of lascivious sexual encounters, outside of his marriage. Orgy Mike.
Just like the Christian pastor today.
Right, just like the Christian pastor today. Because he loved white women. You know what I'm saying? When the Most High is saying he separated the nations now. If you did some stuff like that, you can repent. Don't worry about it. We all have done things that we was ashamed of. And we found out the laws of the Most High. And we changed our ways. And the Most High, that's what it's truly called to be born again. It's not that, okay, well, I'm going to plead the blood of good old buttermilk biscuit white Jesus. And then I can go out and be a damn whore and a slut. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You understand? Scripture said that the Most High, what is it, separated?
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
He separated the sons of Adam. Now, the sons of Adam, now here's the thing right here. We got to understand. Yes, it is true that we come from the lineage, everybody comes from Adam on the earth. But we broke off, we spread out. And the Most High gave the blessing through the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob was the son of promise. Go ahead.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Whoa. He set the bounds of the people, talking about everybody else on the earth, according to the bounds of the children of Israel. So to me, that seemed like this is a favorite. The Most High, he got favorites. That's in the scripture. But the Christian church, they will sit there and say, no, everybody was able to come into the covenant with the New Testament. No, they don't understand. When it's talking about Gentile, it was talking about the people just like here in America that's living like these heathens. Just like Wesley Snipes. He was always loving them Asian women. You understand? And all these people that's marrying these white women, stuff like that. They living like them other people. They Gentiles. That's what it's talking about. Hell, why did Christ tell them not to go to the Samaritans? If he cared about everybody, hell, they could have just preached the gospel to the Samaritans.
Right.
And they could have brought the Samaritans to the next place they need to go. The Most High never did intend for us to be included with these goddamn heathens. Go ahead.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
Now, that's very possessive. His people, not all people. And that's a hard thing for the Christian church, the Catholic Church, and all these people that claim to use this Bible correctly, that the Most High has his people. That means it's exclusive. And his people today on the earth are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's what it is. You got to accept that. Now, here's another argument. Some people will say, well, okay, we're the nation of Israel. So we need to preach the gospel to everybody and get them saved. You know what I mean? He did not call us to save everybody. What do they need saving for? What does Weinstein need saving from? He can go out here and molest people and get off scot-free. He's not even in jail. Meanwhile, Bill Cosby, not saying what Bill Cosby, if he did it or did not do it, was right. If he did do it, but he's locked up. They locked his black ass up. You understand me? And him and Weinstein are the same, around the same age. And Weinstein, he's a pig. You understand me? Him like Kevin Spacey, rubbing on little boys and all that stuff like that. Meanwhile, they're out here free, able to make money, movies. And Bill Cosby, they had to destroy America's favorite dad. You understand me? That way they can demonize you, black man. You understand? So that was all a design to demonize black man. So they had to demonize the image of a black man. Bill Cosby, America's favorite dad, The Cosby Show. You understand? Any more on that?
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
And that's it. Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob is so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians on the earth today. Now, how we got to look different, have different hair, textures, and stuff, that's another class. But we are all the same blood. Drop that, and let's go Was we in 1 John chapter 4 and 20?
Right.
Let's go there.
Come.
Most High Christ.
1 John 4 and 20. If a man say, I love God and hate of his brother, he is a liar.
Okay, now this is what we was told on that post on social media. I love the Lord. The Lord looks after me. He loves me. He blesses me. He just bought. He blessed me with a new car. But you was calling me all kind of harsh words on that post, or you was typing it, right? They talk about social media bullying. You know what I mean? Not that you can bully the ISUPK, but you did come on there and you said some harsh words because you had hatred in your heart towards your brother. What did that say again?
If a man say, I love God and hate of his brother, he is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he have seen, how can he love God whom he have not seen?
And that's the main thing in a Christian church, right? Hell, I used to be in that Christian church, and that spirit can even jump on me. You get out the Christian church thinking, hey, I did a good thing today. You walk out and you see everybody else, they pants sagging, bumping music, and you thinking they just sinners. I did something good before the Lord today. And that's how Christians do. They all pious and they walk out. Meanwhile, the Most High is interested in the person, the sinner with his pants hanging down. You understand? Because he's like, yo, I got more respect, you know what I mean, for that brother right there. At least he ain't in there trying to serve white Jesus when it's alive. You go into the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 13. It talks about how Christ had woolly hair, woolly beard. You know, I'm getting a little old, you know what I'm saying? My hair is getting, starting to turn white. Skin, he's darker than me, but he had similar skin, skin like brass is burning in a furnace. He's looking down at his sandals. You know what I'm saying? He's looking at his feet, and your feet is the same as your face and your arms. So Christ was a so-called black man. You understand? He wasn't that hippie white dude, that homosexual in the Christian church. And I'm just going to put it out there. You understand? You hate your brother. Tonight's class, the Christian church despises their brothers. We'll put the brothers on the end of the title when we finish the class. But yeah, we got to understand this, because if you hate your brother, that bit of hate is a seed that causes anger, that causes murder. You understand? Just like that mustard seed. It's going to sprawl, and it's going to grow, and it's going to flourish. The same thing is with your hate toward your brother. You understand me? And it starts in a plethora of ways, right? Hell, the Christian church, you go in there, they tell all the black women, them old black women, if that man don't do this, do that, kick him out the house. You understand? Now, some people go into like the Baptist church or the Presbyterian. It's different sects and different denominations. And that's the thing about it. Christ never wanted us to be in all these different ideologies. One body and one spirit. The men of the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are one body with the same spirit. We are the same as the brothers in Chicago, in Indianapolis, the brothers down there in Tennessee, St. Louis, Philly, New York, Oklahoma, Cali, you understand? Seattle, Florida, what have you. We all have the same spirit, and that's the spirit of Yahawashi, man. The spirit, Yahawashi, he had the spirit to help his people. He gave his life for his people, man. We give our life for our people, or we'll take a life for our people. Now, I'm not saying we'll do anything, like, you know what I mean, but we will defend ourselves, right? We will defend ourselves, you understand me? So don't get it twisted. But the Christian church, they want to hate us based on nonsense, man. What am I going out here doing to hurt black people, man? I'm saying stop killing your brother. Stop shooting your brother. Talk it over. If you don't know, if you got a beef, then y'all come here in class, and I'll give the counsel, and I'll settle the beef. You come get with Officer Makaba, right? Yo, it's hot out in the street, man. I don't know how to handle this. Well, he did this to my people. Man, we all have a sit down, and then I'll handle it. We'll get the counsel, and we'll squash it according to the scriptures, man. You understand me? We're going to have to learn to live by the laws of the Most High. You trying to do stuff out there on your own, and it's hurting the community, man. It's hurting the community. And I'm just going to tell you like this. The black woman should not be trying to run the community. The scriptures never called her to lead. That's another indicator that the Christian church is not on point. They got prophetesses. Ain't that what they call them? Females in the pulpit. When the scriptures say, I suffer not a woman to teach, she's not supposed to teach these scriptures. That's in the New Testament, ladies. You understand? Now, you called to be a helpmate to your husband. You know what I mean? But because of feminism, which is in the Bible, what we do is that we bow down and call the black woman queen and all this stuff like that and put them over us. That's part of the Christian church hatred toward their brother, right? The Most High never intended for a woman to rule over a man. She's supposed to be that helpmate to that man. Not equal, helpmate, a servant to that man. And she could say, I ain't serving no Negro. I ain't serving no nigga. But she served that white man at her job. You understand me? Now, the same degree of service that she give that white man at that job, whether she's in corporate America, at Walmart, KFC, or wherever the hell, not to promote those businesses, I'm just using an example, is what she's supposed to be doing to you at home. She's supposed to be making sure that your inventory is nice. She's supposed to be giving you excellent customer service, right? Take a cookbook. Baby, it's a cookbook. There's some recipes in there. By the end of the week, I want you to review those recipes. You're going to have a practical application this weekend when you cook that fried chicken.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But let it be something for a department at that job. Learn how to put up all the toilet paper or something on the shelf or whatever your department is. She'll read that and she'll be in all weekend. And leave me alone. I got to study. This is important. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you straight. You know what I mean? You don't want to believe what we tell you here. I told you this is the I.S.U.P.K. Louisville. We go hard. We don't pull no punches, man. And we got to do it because we got to joke black people out of their stupor. They have been anesthetized with the lies and the philosophies of Trump and white America. You understand me? And that is that black people don't have a place. What did your president say? He said to take black people's head, bash it on the police car, and then shove them in the back of the police car. I'm paraphrasing. He pretty much said that. You know. And we got to be aware of this. And now he's about to run for president again. You understand? But rather than just looking at Trump, I want you to look at Billy that you work with. Because he's the one you see on the evening news. Billy. Little Billy. Hell, yesterday was the anniversary of Dylan Roof massacre in Charleston, South Carolina, where he killed 9 people in the Christian church. I thought the Most High was with the black people in the Christian church. So why did they get killed? Because if they would have followed the Bible in Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10, where it says, never trust thine enemy, they would be here today. They should have talked to the men of the I.S.U.P.K. and the Commander GEN.YAHANNA. We would have told them to separate and not to let that goddamn devil in their doors, man.
Right.
You understand? Drop that, and let me get the book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 15. The white man is truly the devil that the Bible speaks of. He brought black people over here in cargo slave ships. Now, what happened was they told us that black people sold black people into slavery. That's a lie. What ended up happening was that Africans, them so-called Hamites, which is really their ancient biblical name, they teamed up with Ishmaelites, the so-called Arab, and they captured us, and they sold us to the Caucasians, the white man, who was Esau in the Bible. Now, this is what they don't tell you, this history. You understand me? So it was Africans and Arabs teaming up with white people to enslave Israelites. That's the true history. Not that Africans sold Africans into slavery. That's a goddamn lie. You got all these people in the Kemet community, in the conscious community, and they still want to wear these unks and all that stuff. Meanwhile, the Most High plagued Egypt with frogs, boils, blood. Why would you want to be that? You know what I mean? You got that?
Con. 1 John 3 and 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Is a what?
Is a murderer.
Wow, that's real heavy and that's deep. Whoever, he didn't say you got to pull the trigger or stab him. He said whoever hated his brother is a murderer. You got an issue with a brother, why don't you just talk to him and find out where he at with it? Why do you got an issue with your brother? You understand me? And we got to do that in the body also. We got to make sure that we cool with our brothers, man. We see our brother doing something that we don't quite understand. It ain't said we need to hate on our brother or have it, because if the Most High going to deal with you, he going to deal with your heart. Because you hate your brother in your heart like a murderer. You understand me? Why don't you go to the scripture, like the scripture says, Salaki, and go to the brother alone and say, man, where you coming at with what you coming with, man? I don't quite understand it. And y'all squash it and have a talk. Maybe have a nice adult beverage. You understand me? And talk it over. But meanwhile, you hold a grudge in your heart towards your brother for whatever reason, and the Most High sees that. You understand me? And he'll deal with you. He'll deal with me if I'm not right. That's why you got to repent and get it right with your brother, man. Tonight's class, the brotherhood class. We teach brotherhood in I.S.U.P.K, which is the building block of nation building. We get the men together, we can get the women and children together. You understand? Because it's a echelon, right? You got the Most High, you got Christ as the head over men, you got the husband, then you got the woman, you got the children, you got the dog. You understand me? You got anything on it?
Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
No murder. How are you going to be able to be in the kingdom with Christ when Christ returns and you hatred towards your brother? Meanwhile, you like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. And you love white folks. You know what I'm saying? You love their money. You a good slave in the kingdom. That's what you is. You understand me? I'll get a little ghetto with it, but that's what you is, man. You are a good coon for the white community. You know what I mean? Through the guise of that Christian church, which is supposed to be. Now, you think about here in Louisville, right? They got a church on every block in the West End. Meanwhile, all these murders are happening. You would think that the Christian church would say, you know what? We're going to start a program, some type of work program or something to get people, you know, give them a sense of value in the community. You understand me? We do that in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We give men a sense of value and worth where he can't get in goddamn America, man. You come into this body of Christ, you learn to live by these laws, statutes, and commandments, and you become a new creation in Christ, man, for real. No game, no magical thing. They ain't that they dunk you in water and somehow you different. Hell, they dunk holes in water every week, and they just come out a wet hole. And I know that sounds very harsh, you know what I'm saying? But we living in very dismal times, and you got to get the real, because I'd rather for you to take this little bit of harsh. The scriptures say, "Though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge." I'm paraphrasing. My speech might come off rude, but what I'm telling you is the truth, man. Because we validating everything by the scriptures, right? Any more on that?
That's the end of 15.
Most High in Christ. Okay, so let me get, drop that, and let me get the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 21. And I would like to remind everybody out there, make sure that you pay your tithes. You can go to ISUPK.com, and you can pay it there. Or you can also give it to the teacher in your school, man. Support your school. And make sure that you help. Just like you would help that stinking, greasy, chitlin eating pastor eating that pork. You should help the true priests and prophets of the Most High. You know what I mean? Because we get overlooked. Because they look at us and say, oh, look, they look weird. They look like Power Rangers. They can't possibly be the representation of the Most High God of the universe. Him, he comes from the ghetto, the projects. But Christ came from Nazareth, which was the ghetto, the projects. Why do you think he was born in a manger? He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. You understand? And ISUPK is the only place that's going to break these scriptures down like that, man. So you can understand who Christ was, who Israel is, and who you are as a nation and people. Go ahead.
Matthew 5:21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
Yeah, keep going.
But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Now, angry with your brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. This is, you know what I mean? Now, when you go out there and you kill a brother for stepping on your tennis shoes, or looking at your woman wrong, or saying something, what you looking at me for? Why are you looking at me? We done been there, right? And all this big commotion happened over something small. Now, you don't think about that man's life, his family he had to go home to, you understand me? His children that he's accountable to provide for and to protect. And you just shoot another black man. You understand me? The key to this is showing that black man worth, right? That's the key to brotherhood. When you are able to show that other black man his worth, and he's able to show you worth, a mutual respect, then we can build a nation. But when you are told, oh man, that nigga ain't nothing, and you look at the white man, yo, they ain't never did nothing to me, you know what I'm saying, me? Then what do you automatically do? You put the white man up here, Esau, the Caucasian, the goddamn devil up here, and you put the black man down here and work. Now, I know you hate that. You coon-ass nigga, y'all hate that. You understand me? Y'all hate because I just said something about your slave master. And you probably said, man, oh man, you turned it in. I never seen a Bible class like this. Look, you know what I mean? Look here, Christ, what did Christ, they call him an austere man. What is austere? He's very serious. He's very hardcore. You go into Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3, it says that the Lord is a man of war. He wasn't some limp wrist, pink panty wearing prophet, you know what I mean, in that Christian church or some fake Israelite group. The Lord's a man of war. And what are we warring for? We're warring for the souls of our people, man. You understand me? We got people in homosexuality. What's it? June Gay Pride Month. They having gay pride parades all over. Now they're bringing kids in the fold. They're slowly trying to twist it into pedophilia. You understand me? And Satanism. Like that statue of the Baphomet in Arkansas, on the state capitol in Arkansas. I did a class on that. The Baphomet. Man, that's what we're warring for. We are warring, breaking down principalities, strongholds. You understand me? In people's minds, in their heart. Any more on that?
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council.
And that's the thing about it, man. We got to learn to love one another. You understand? And that starts in the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander GEN.YAHANNA, man. Since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man, we've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians brotherhood, man. That is the key to nation building, brotherhood. Mutual respect for that black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man. Slock, give him a drink. But that's what you got to do, man. Because when you respect that brother, you'll think twice than to pull that trigger. You understand me? Wow. It's crazy. I can't understand it, man. You got all this bravado when it comes to squeezing the trigger on a black man, but when the cop, not saying that you should, you know what I'm saying, harm any police officers, but what I'm saying is that where's the bravado then? You understand me? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Any more on that?
But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
On sign Christ. Let me give a couple of shout outs real quick. I'm going to give a shout out to Officer of 1,000, Isaiah Ariab in Indianapolis. Shalom, brother. Give a shout out to Akaz Yahawada. Shalom. Also give a shout out to this brother Clarence Harris. Say it, brother. Appreciate that. The water. Share the class. Yeah, but we gotta be able to do this, man. Because see, our social being sociable, man. Just being sociable in society. Now, I come up in an era where, to me, it's like almost unbelievable how unsociable we are. You try to talk to a young lady you're interested in, you can't even have a decent conversation with her without her looking at you. What are you talking to me for? Ew. You know, making you feel some type of way like you just wrong. Where it used to could be like, hey, how you doing? You know, hey, I see you sitting there, you're nice, you know. How would you like to, get a cup of coffee or something like that? You can't even be like that now because our women have been turned against us. You understand me? The whole society, we can't be pleasant with each other, cordial. We got to be, have a chip on our shoulder and walk with a, kind of like a grudge or something, just to, fend off and ward off all the haters. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you in a cocoon. You in a cocoon of hate. You know what I mean? You got to be hardcore. Just walk through what you're looking at me for. Especially here in Louisville. I mean, back in the day, I remember back in the 80s, you could use to raise your, hey, how you doing? Everybody say hi to you. Remember that? You was a kid? Everybody made you feel special. You felt like a community. Hey, what's going on? You was a little kid. What's going on, young brother? Hey, what's going on? Make you feel good? Come on. What you doing, boy? Hey, take that dollar. Go get you some candy, something. The community's not like that now. You understand me? Because they have demonized black men. You understand me? And that's something that you got to understand. Now, we love the black woman. We love the black men. And, a lot of women, they see to my class and they think, oh, man, he just bashing women. Look here. I love you enough to rebuke you. Because if I don't rebuke you, then guess who's going to have to rebuke you? The Most High. You understand me? He said to give them warning from me. I'm paraphrasing. That's the scriptures. He said, give you warning. And the woman, her place, she got a role. Just like the child got a role. And the man got a role. The man got a role to lead. He can't just hide and cower behind, you know what I mean? Let the woman do, he can't do that. You understand me? He got to lead. You understand me? The woman got a role to follow. The man. Her man. A black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man, mind you. Not the white man. You understand me? You go to school, you go to college, you learn all these different things to serve your damn master in a career. Meanwhile, you go home and you give that black man all kind of hell because he don't measure up financially. Right? You understand? Man, it's real heavy. See if we got any questions on here. But I'm just bringing it out because we got to do this. Tonight's class is a brotherhood class. You understand? You got to understand this because here in America, we are seeing the lack of brotherhood, especially here in Louisville, Kentucky, man. We got to get back to that. Back to the community amongst black people, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And you're not going to get that in the Christian church. You might have a gathering of black people in the Christian church, but the Christian church is ran by old black women. You know what I mean? That old black woman, she's the meanest. Goodness gracious, man. She is like one of the meanest, like mean as a snake, like they used to say. And ran by homosexuals, man. You know what I mean? And I'm just keeping it real. You try to go in there and you try to bring your masculinity and all that stuff like that, and what do? You can't do that, brother. You got good. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. That's why you don't see a lot of males in the church, and rightfully so, because their spirit innately is telling them that no, I'm supposed to be a man. You have me in here. You have me paying all my money and all this stuff and making me feel this condemnation. Meanwhile, if I come to you with a problem, that's just like, let me tell you something. One time this is a long time ago, right? I was going to the Christian church, and I asked their pastor of that church for some counsel, right? And the first thing he did was inquire about my tithes. You understand me? He looked into the records to see about was my tithes up to date. So it was almost like he didn't even want to talk to me and counsel me and do the work of the Most High. Maybe I was a poor man. Maybe I didn't have much to give. But maybe I had my honor, my loyalty, my efforts to give. You know, understand me? Maybe I was there for that. But that didn't matter. He was worried about that money. So I didn't get the same level of counsel as the rich man got in that Christian church. I could name the church here in this city, but I ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? The Most High deal with him. He said in Romans 12:9, vengeance is his. You know, he gonna repay. I'm just paraphrasing, right? But that's what they be on, man. And y'all gotta know that, because, you know, to make a long story longer, you know what I mean? The Christian church hates they brothers. They despise they brothers. Tonight's class, it's a brotherhood class. You understand? Just putting it out there. We got any more in that scripture? Drop that and let me get the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. Right? And I also would like to remind everybody watching the class to go ahead and subscribe on YouTube to the I.S.U.P.K. Louisville YouTube channel, man. A lot of exciting content there. Man, you get some good classes. You get the street speakings, you understand, that you don't get on Facebook. So make sure you subscribe to the I.S.U.P.K. Louisville YouTube channel. You got that?
1 Timothy 5 and 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he have denied the faith.
Now, if I could, right there. Now, the Christian pastor does not provide for his own. You understand me? He called this is a house of God. Everybody's welcome. Come as you are. Meanwhile, if you don't drop a quarter or you don't drop that bankroll, you understand me? Then they make you feel some type of way. We don't do that, man. If somebody want to give, you know, willingly, that's fine. We put tithes. That's 10%. That's a law. But at the same time, we don't make somebody feel bad if they don't got it, man. In fact, we be trying like, yo, you need something? You know what I'm saying? We try to help you. That's what the Christian pastors should do. Because all that resources, all the money he collects in the community, when somebody comes in there and say, you know what, I need you know, some food, he should be like, oh, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Take you to food and get you some food. You know what I mean? To make sure you good. Meanwhile, you go in there and what do? They blame it on you. If they do give you some food, there's some cans that's rusted. You know what I mean? Some old rusted cans that's outdated or something like. Yo, look here. I know it's hard for some of y'all to hear this stuff, man, because you love your auntie and she go in that Christian church and she tried to teach you the word. A lot of women try to teach us the word. Hell, my mama tried to teach us the word. You know what I mean? And at the same time, they mess it up because they wasn't. The Most High didn't want them to do that. He didn't design them to do that. Women are emotional beings, whereas man's logical. You know what I'm saying? And emotional. He can, you know what I mean? He can do both. Where she's just gonna reason on what makes her feel good for the most part. You understand me? And then when you got a man that does that, he's an effeminate man. Well, the white man didn't do nothing to me. Ain't that what I'm just saying?
Right.
White man didn't do nothing to me. That's not gonna get brotherhood. Thinking about yourself, being selfish. Well, he didn't do nothing to me. All right? But he did do something to your brother. You should think like that. They think like that. You understand me? We got to think as a collective. Israel, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people. We got to think like that. We got to be, even if we don't know them. Hell, when you in your restaurant on your slave, black woman, you working at KFC, I'm just saying, it wouldn't be nice, you know, it wouldn't be nothing wrong to drop an extra piece of chicken in the bucket for the brother, you know what I mean? Right. I'm just saying, right. Hell, they just stole, the damn people that own the place and stole every goddamn thing on the planet. Hell, instead you give him the smallest little thigh you can find. You know, black man, you know, he go crazy about his chicken. Hey, hold up, this looks like a chicken nugget, this ain't even a chicken thigh. You gonna have to go back there and find me something for real. You know what I'm saying? Go get your manager. You know, black man go off about that chicken. His chicken ain't right. You know, I know I do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'll go off on some chicken. I'll blow this muffin. That's like, yeah, I won't do that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, black people will go off on their chicken. You know, they want their chicken right. And I'm saying, if you're a sister working behind the counter, yo, I ain't telling you do nothing. I'm just telling you, look out for your people. Brother, look out. You know what I'm saying? That's all we saying. That's how sisters used to do back in the day. You know, brother, hey, bag, I got you straight. what's up? You know, you go in there and say extra burger in there. You know, something. You know what I mean? That's how we got to do each other because we all we got. You know, that's a saying here in Louisville. We all we got. You know what I mean? People wearing it on T-shirts. We got to live up to that, man. And when I say we got to define who we are. We are so-called black people, Hispanic, the Mexican. They the tribe of Issachar in the Bible. You know, amongst a lot of the other Hispanic tribes, you know, Puerto Ricans or Ephraimites, Dominicans, you know what I mean? These are our people, the downtrodden on the earth. According to the scriptures, and just look at real life, man. They ain't got no real independence, no real power in and of itself. As far as like if you look, like they do got power, we just got to utilize it. We got to come together. Like it was a cartoon back in the day. This is for you old heads. Remember Voltron? Voltron. It was an old cartoon where they had all these different little animals come together and form one large being. That's just like the body of Christ, man, with the 12 tribes. When we all come together, we're going to be united and we're going to be strong. You know what I'm saying? But when we got somebody out here, you know, straggling, and they want to still love the heathens, then, you know, we're not going to be able to come together as we could. You know what I mean? But Commanding GEN.YAHANNA, he teaches us all to come together. You understand?
Right.
Any more on that?
He have denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
And he had denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. And that's the thing about it. Like hell, you always hear the Arabs say, you infidel. You know what I'm saying? They saying you worse than that. You're supposed to look out for your people, man. And something too, also in Israel, we got to look out for our elderly, man, and our children. Because they get overlooked, you understand? Back in the day, we used to have that elderly person in the family. What do? We didn't send them to an old folks home. We put them in a back room somewhere, and somebody cared for them. You know what I mean? Till they passed or whatever. They lived out their days, man. We got to go back to that. But how are we going to do that when a lot of our women are out there shaking their behind in the streets and on social media? Rather than learning good works, learning how to care. Like you give all that hospice care and all that stuff to old white men, you know, that got liver spots and stuff on them. You know what I mean? You go to school and learn how to do that. Meanwhile, that was an honorable, and that is an honorable thing. But you showing the honor to the wrong people. You won't even do that to your own grandma, your own great uncle, something like that. I don't want to see them like that. The women of old wasn't like that. You know what I mean? They get that pan and they bathe the people. They knew them, he's old, wash them down. You know what I'm saying? Because they made sure you was in a position to be where you at. You know what I mean? And it's called giving back, man. That's part of brotherhood, you know what I mean, too. You understand? Any more on that?
I stand at 8.
Most High in Christ. Let me get the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 44.
Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies.
Okay, now this is real heavy. It says love your enemies right here. Whoa, what does that mean? Now, does that mean love the white man? No. In this context, now here's the thing what the Christian church do. They take things out of context, right? Now, when they read that, they read go love the white man, who was our enemies. You understand me? Because you're going to, matter of fact, we're going to prove that. Go into Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. We're going to prove in the Bible that the so-called Caucasian race, who is Esau in the Bible, is your enemies. Go ahead.
Book of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Okay, let me break this down. Now, this is Moses talking to the children of Israel, the nation of Israel, the nation of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that you know of today, their ancestors. He's saying, now he's already telling them they just got out of Egypt, the landmass of Mizraim, the ancient name for Egypt. They coming out. He's saying, you're going to go into Egypt again. What? He's standing before all the people, and he's saying, you are going to go into Egypt again. Go ahead.
With ships.
Now, he's telling them a very specific way that you're going to go into Egypt. Now, Egypt, if you know about Mizraim, that landmass was full of desert land. So how could they have ships? You understand me? This is a prophecy of the condition, the plight of so-called black people in America today. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Now, when it says, thou shalt see it no more again, this was our homeland, Jerusalem. The so-called Jewish man is over there in Israel right now. The scriptures say a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. I'm paraphrasing. He's a bastard. He's an imposter. He doesn't belong in that land. Why do you think he wears those big old long black hats? To protect the sun from beaming on his skin. You understand? The Most High ain't gonna make no mistake. He don't put frogs in the desert. You understand me? Just like he don't put polar bears, you know what I mean, in the desert. Them people over there don't belong over there. They are Khazars. They belong in the Caucasus Mountains in Georgia, Russia. You understand me? Because they was living in the caves. That's why their skin, you know, is pale, and
right.
You know, they was living in environments that was all clammy, and you know what I mean. You go into a book called The 13th Tribe, written by Alistair Crowley. I forgot his name, but it's called The 13th Tribe, and it talks about how Esau, they was eating the bugs and the lice out of their garments, and you understand me, man. They was the base people. They was the true Geico caveman on the planet.
Right.
Now, because we sin and we don't follow the laws of the Most High said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to really make it sting. I'm going to put the lowest form of human life over you to make you jealous for me until you come back and live how I want you to live. That's what he did. And that's why we get mad when we see that damn white man with that black woman. We get mad like, how the hell? How the hell is he with this fine-ass broad? You understand me? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that some of that's their own doing now, but I'm just saying he allowed the conditions. But when we come back to living by the laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible, then the Most High, and he's already doing it. He's using the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander GEN.YAHANNA to change the tide in this thing, man. And shout out, clap it up for Commander GEN.YAHANNA, because he got his prophets out here to preach the truth, the gospel, like they say. You understand me? The good news that you can receive redemption and salvation through Yahushua, Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which was a black man, mind you. He was a black man. So this is what the Christian will say. They will say, well, it doesn't matter what color he is. Well, why did they paint him white? You understand? If it don't matter. Why? Because, see, they knew that the Ku Klux Klan could never have a cross, and they could never pray to a black man with a fro. You understand me? That wouldn't make sense. They had to keep the white supremacy going.
Right.
And the Christian church is the mechanism for white supremacy. I'm just going to keep it real. Because they perpetuate in your black woman's mind that the greatest man to ever live, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, was a white man, when he's really black in the book of Revelation. And when God, who he's made in his image in the book of Daniel, is a black man. You understand me?
Right.
So we wasn't taught this in the Christian church. What we was taught is to love our enemies. I know I've been all over the place, but I'm going back to where this enemy is. Finish reading that on where the enemy is, if you could.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Okay. It said we're going to go into Egypt. We're going to go into bondage. That word Egypt in this context means bondage. So Moses is telling the nation, the children of Israel, you're going to go into bondage again by the mean of ships, cargo slave ships. And when you get there, you're going to be sold onto your enemies. Now, the Christian church always say that Jesus Christ is the Word. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Now, the Word just said that you're going to be sold onto your enemies yesterday. So what does that make your enemy today and tomorrow? The people that you were sold unto is going to forever be your enemies. That's the word. Go ahead.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Wasn't there black men and black women, bond men and blind women on that auction block? That's not describing the so-called Jewish man.
Right.
That's not describing the African here that got a store in your hood and you don't.
Right.
You've been there for 20, 30 years in the hood and you ain't got no business. That's part of a curse, man. But we also got blessings. Hell, the Arab. The Arab that got your black woman going in the back room, you know, having sex with her for a pack of Philly blunts. That's how you come up with a Nipsey Russell. Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was a bust down in the back room of a store, man. That's how, you know,
Right.
It had a black mom with an Ethiopian store on her. He was the result of a bust down in the back room of a damn heathen store, man, in the hood. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you. And that was the old Quaker term. No man's going to be able to redeem us. You understand me? And that didn't happen. But the only person that's going to redeem us and who is going to redeem us is a black man. And his name is Jesus, Yahawashai in the Hebrew. He's going to come. Now, if I told you the means and the methods that he's going to come, you could hardly believe it. You understand me? Because we've been taught the Bible wrong. We've been taught it from the standpoint of a fairy tale. We was taught that the angels was white. All the people and the heroes and the prophets were white. Caucasian, mind you, or from the lineage of Esau, but they are actually black or dark skin with melanin. I'm just telling you, it's a lot of information to come out. Some of y'all not going to believe it. You're like, well, I don't believe that. I'm going to just kind of stay in my safe lane. But here's the thing. When the Most High gives you knowledge, you're responsible for what the Most High gave you. That's all I can say. Just like if somebody tell you, don't touch a hot stove, and you continue to do it, you was responsible because you was told not to touch the fire on that hot stove. The same thing is what I'm telling you. If you have never seen a class like this, so-called black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indian people, and when I say Native Indian, I'm talking about the indigenous people here in the Americas before the white man got here. And you go into this book right here, we can prove the history of that in the book of Ezra, of how the Native Indians got here, because they wasn't always here. They came out of the captivity, was it the Assyrian captivity, I think? They came out of the Assyrian captivity and came over to this land here in America, which was called Arsareth in the Apocrypha. We can prove that history. Your Christian pastor, he won't even read from this book. You understand me? The Apocrypha, which was included in the 1611 version of the Bible, man. Once you look up the term on Wikipedia, George Washington Inaugural Bible. The Bible that George Washington swore in on had this book in it. Look that term up. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander GEN.YAHANNA, we have the history, we have the knowledge, man, and we the only one that have the truth. Mind you. Any more on that? Most High in Christ. That was Matthew Slocky. That was 1 Timothy. Where was we at? No, we just got out of Deuteronomy.
20:60.
Okay, go back to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 44. Because here's the big misconception. A lot of the Christian church that hate their brothers, they despise their brothers, they take these scriptures and these words out of context. When it says love your enemy, it's talking about like a person you got a beef with. Think in the hood, man, I got a beef with him. You know, I can't stand him. He do this, he do that. You understand me? That's what it's talking about when it talk about love your enemy. It's not talking about go love the white man. Come on, man, we need to go love Esau. Nah, I ain't talking about love Esau. Esau got plenty of love on the earth. You understand me? He's in his jacuzzi right now, sipping champagne and having sex with little boys. That's Esau, the so-called white man, Weinstein. You understand me? He got all the love he can handle. You understand me? We ain't supposed to go love Weinstein, Trump, and none of these other white people. Now, we supposed to live amongst them. You know what I'm saying? Work amongst them, not cause no problems or stuff like that, and let the Most High deal with our enemies. Why do you think all these school shootings are happening? and these white people are killing each other and getting drowned and stuff like that. The Most High is doing that. Hell, it's always a tornado going through some trailer park, killing up all the white people. Meanwhile, we in the damn project, safe and sound. You understand me? Because the Most High know who the children of Israel is. He know who his children is. Go ahead.
Matthew 5:44. But I say unto you, love your enemies.
Love who?
It's like, love your enemies.
Now, when it says love your enemies in this context, it's talking about that other brother and sister, man. You supposed to squash the beef with them, man. All right, man. Yeah, your kid's been throwing stuff on my line. Man, all right, I'm going to stop it. You know what I mean? I'm going to stop that. That's who you're supposed to love, not the damn white man. Not white Santa Claus, white Jesus. Everything that you notice they say is good is supposed to be white. White sugar, white bread. You white. You know what I'm saying? We've been taught to love everything white was right and that black was wrong. You understand me? Hell, every superhero movie you watch, or especially horror movie, what happened? The black person get killed first. He don't even get to make it. You know what I'm saying? He running, you know what I'm saying? He trying to do something to the monster, and he get killed first. We be thinking, yeah, go ahead, he gonna, oh, damn. That's what you gotta live with. I had to live with that my whole life. You understand me? Man, it's just real crazy. You understand? But we talking about love your enemy. In this context, it's talking about love that brother, man. That black, Hispanic, or Native Indian brother, sister, man. Tonight's class, it's a brotherhood class. Sisters too. You understand me? And let me give some shout outs again. Shout out to the sister, Parab Gad. Shout out to her. Shalom, sis. Yeah, but, we going into some deep stuff because, see, we've been taught wrong in that Christian church, man. We've been taught to love everybody else but ourselves. We look at that other brother or sister that might not be on par as we think they should be, and we hate them. When the scriptures talk about that, you understand me? We are not to do that. We're supposed to love and reason with them, make them better, man. And the I.S.U.P.K, it truly is, man, because I've done a lot of stuff. I don't get into my history, but, I was in the military. I got college degree. I got all this stuff I could be doing, but I chose to give all that stuff up. And I chose to stand up for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, because of Commander GEN.YAHANNA. And once again, shout out to Commander GEN.YAHANNA, man. Because, if, I could be trying to, work in a Fortune 500 company, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But they would probably want me to shave my beard and, get a bald head and put on a suit and tie. And I used to do stuff like that. I work and I make all right money, but at the same time, you know what I mean? They want you to be a certain way. That's just like I was watching something on social media with Will Smith. And Will Smith is an Israelite. He got the spirit of the Most High, because the gifts and callings of the Most High is irrevocable. I'm just paraphrasing. Even though he might not be in the truth, he still have, the spirit of the Lord, because he's an Israelite. And I admire his work. I don't admire what he do personally, the way he raised his children and how he's a homosexual. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Somebody don't want to hear it like that. But I was watching this thing with social media, and his wife, Jada Pickett, man, I don't know what the hell. Yo, she was fine just the way she was. You know what I mean?
She looked like Iron Man.
She looked like Iron Man. She looked like the Beauty and the Beast. You know the Beauty and the Beast with that, yo, you know what I mean? I'm Salaki, you know what I mean? Woo. Wasn't that the movie back in the day? Woo. Mm-hmm. I see her now, I'm like, woo. You know what I mean? She ain't woo no more.
Right.
Now, she done got all this stuff on her where she was fine, man. Black women, they grow old gracefully, man. If they take care of themselves and all this stuff like that, you don't need to get all that plastic on your face. Now, because they want the, and I know that the riches of Babylon and the fame of Babylon is very alluring. Hell, I got dreams. I still got dreams. But I want to do them the right way.
Right. You
understand me? There's a movie he did, Will Smith, going back to him, called, 6 Degrees of Separation? I think that was his first major role.
Right.
But when he was doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, he did this role, and there's a scene where he was a homosexual in the bed with a white man. Now, that one act set his life up deliciously here in Babylon. Now that's very hard because you're thinking, man, I don't want bills. I don't want to be sick. I want to make sure my kids got this and this. I want to let the finer things in life. I want the nice car. I want the nice clothes. I want the nice jewels. I want the adoration and respect that you get with that. But real hardcore brothers stand up for the Most High. And, you know what I'm saying, if we sell out, we gets the hell out. You know what I mean? We ain't like Will Smith and the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? We got some integrity about ourselves. God damn it. You see what I'm saying? Now, he was in that bed, and he set himself up, and he portrayed himself as a homosexual. Now, think of all the people that watched that, the young people that was his fans on that show. Now, what did you just do? You just taught them that that's the way to go. That's the way to be. You might say I'm not a role model, but you a role model. If you a black leader, somebody that black people look up to, they're going to emulate you. And you a role model, right? And we don't do that. We are very cognizant. It's like, where am I trying? Cognizant. I'm trying to get my vocabulary word about what we do. We are ambassadors to Christ in the I.S.U.P.K, right? To be a leader, people have to see you as an example. If I'm out here and I'm wearing purple, you know what I mean? Purple shirts and purple thongs, and you know what I'm saying? You call yourself to be a priest and prophet, you a homosexual. We don't do that, man. Actually, we hardcore warriors now. Now, don't say I just all day, I'm at home. I'm just, of course, you know, I got another side about myself. But what I'm saying is like this, man. The Christian church is dead wrong. They off. They despise their brothers, man. I don't, you know, if the Christian church, my thing's like this. I'm like, live by the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. If you don't, the Most High deal with you.
Right.
But I don't sit there and try to, you know, like, yo, I'm gonna go to the Christian church and, you know, y'all this and that, and try to burn the church down. No, I don't do that. We don't do that in I.S.U.P.K. Because the scriptures say vengeance is his. He gonna deal with you regardless. Look, I'm trying to teach you these scriptures, man. You might be watching this kind of class for the first time and like, man, I never heard anybody teach the Bible like that. You sound like you're preaching hate. Hate's in the Bible, man. The Most High definitely hate that you're in a messed up condition. You've been enslaved. You have invisible shackles on your brain, and you don't know it. Everywhere you go, the chain is pulling you back to where you're supposed to be. And what I'm saying, your mindset, to be a goddamn slave here in Babylon, man. But what we do as priests and prophets of the Most High is we got the lock cutters, the bolt cutters, right, mind you, to cut the chains of the ignorance of your captivity, man. That's in the scriptures. You understand? Let me get this last scripture. The book of John, chapter 13 and verse 34. Somebody, Jorge Vasquez said Will Smith is lost, and he's right. And the water to the system, Parah, clapping it up, and you're right about that. You know what I mean? Will Smith is lost. Only thing we can do is pray for the brother. Hell, I tell you what he needs to do. If Will Smith, if you can get this video to Will Smith needs to donate some money and some funds to the I.S.U.P.K. Louisville, God damn it. You understand me? I.S.U.P.K., especially I.S.U.P.K. Louisville, we need some thing around here. You be giving it to Scientology and you give it to all these other organizations. Why don't you give it to a black organization that handles black business? You understand? We'll make sure everything's plushed out and good for black people. You feel me? Let me get that. That's the last scripture.
Book of John 13 and 30.
It's like Book of John chapter 13 and verse 34.
34. A new commandment I give unto you.
Now this is the words of this is Slacky Christ. It's in red, right?
Come.
Most High in Christ. Go ahead.
A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another.
Now, this is Christ telling black people, talking to black people, Hispanic and Native Indian people, that we love one another. Like I said, Esau The Asian man, they got all the love in the world. Hell, when you watch the award shows, you know what I mean? Hell, I want to be on some of that. You know, you want to get all the glamour and the glitz and just the people, adoration and people looking at you and revering you. But that's in a fallen Babylonian state, man. You want to be important in hell, where I'd rather be the least in heaven. Go ahead.
As I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
He's telling us to love one another. Now, what is love? Does that mean something sloppy and a feeling? Look, man, love is us treating our people with respect, mutual respect according to the scriptures, man. If I love you, I'm going to respect your woman. You're going to respect mine. You're going to respect your kids. You're not going to try to molest somebody's kids. You understand me? You're not going to steal from somebody. Hell, you got a couple of dollars right there and it's laying out. That's just like when I used to work, I used to install cable television back when I was young, in my 20s or something like that, right? And I would go into these rich, white people's homes, and I would go into their bedrooms because I would have to install cable television, and they would leave lots of money on their counter dresser. And I would see that, and here mind you, I'm, struggling with this job. I made all right money, but hell, I was just getting above water. And had I not had the Spirit of the Most High on me, that would have been a temptation. Now, these is not even my brother. These is white people. If I don't take that money and I didn't take it from them, how much more should I not take from my brother, man? How much more should you not take from your brother and sister? You understand me? When we do that, we set up a moral code. That way, we all know what's going on with each other. There ain't no games. Like, you're not supposed to steal from me. The Most High said it. You know you're not supposed to touch that little boy or little girl. The Most High said it. You know you're not supposed to do this and do that, eat this, go there, wherever you. Hang out with them. Hang out with these damn Asian people, these Arabs, these heathens. You know that according to the scriptures. So why the hell are you doing it? So when we all come into a collective, and that's what we do in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under command of GEN.YAHANNA, then we begin to build a nation within this Babylonian system. Because if you didn't know, World War III is coming. Look at the pieces on the stage. That's another class. All the pieces are coming together. So you need to come together. O nation, not desire. So to recap, tonight's class, and I got to fix the title on the Facebook. The Christian church despises their brothers, right? We went to Romans chapter 8 and verse 7, talking about the carnal mind. We talked about how the carnal mind wants to go against the words of the Most High. And what we do as priests and prophets of the Most High is to bring our people back to live according to the Most High's word. Went to John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil. That's why you got the carnal mind. Because you are of your father the devil, the so-called white man, Esau, in the Bible. He's a fornicator. He's just all these different things. I could go into the scriptures, but for the sake of time, I won't. 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20. Hate his brother. You hate your brother. If you lying, you say you love your brother. You love God and you hate your brother. You a lie. You haven't seen the Most High. And the Christian church said, that's even Christian church said that they went down to hell and beat up Satan and beat up Satan and took him out and people selling tickets to heaven. It's nonsense. Church is like wrestling. You remember I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. And we know wrestling is fake, but it was entertainment. That's what church is like. They throw a jacket, start waving, and people falling out. That's what church is now. Church is like wrestling. You understand me? You claim you seen God, and God didn't talk to you. Meanwhile, you hate your brother. The Most High didn't tell you to love your sister, love your brother. That's what you want. So the scriptures done called you out. You are a liar. Verse, 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. If you hate your brother, you're a murderer. You might not understand what your brother's doing in this truth. Especially here in the school, man. We got to be brotherly, man. You understand me? We got to be brotherly. And we got to understand it. Yes, there is a core protocols that we need to follow, but the Most High uses each brother differently. You understand me? Just like this hand right here is different from your eyes, right? The hand grabs stuff. Your eyes look around. It does different functions. The same thing is with brothers and sisters in the school, man. Just because you don't understand how the brother's moving don't mean the Most High ain't working with them. If you don't understand, just go to the brother alone, like the scriptures say, and ask them, hey, what you mean by this, man? What did you mean by that post? What you mean by that? Why don't you do that? That's brotherly. You understand me? Rather than, taking it some type of way. You don't know how the Most High is using that brother. And the Most High is going to prove that he's using that brother by the good works in his life, in the miracles, just like he did Christ. And if you can't see that, then the Most High be with you. Because then he'll deal with you, he'll deal with me, or whatever. We got to be brotherly. So we did that. It's a lot. And then we also talked about in the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 21, not to be angry with your brother, man. You understand? I'm just recapping and talking about different things that we went over in class, right? We got to be, if we are angry, and anger is a natural human emotion. You can get upset with your brother, but the scriptures, and I'm paraphrasing, say, be ye angry, but sin not, right? Now, if you angry and you go get the clapper and you want to shoot your brother like what's been going on in Louisville, then what you just did was committed sin. And the Most High is going to deal with you. You know what I mean? We're going to see you on the evening news in that jumpsuit standing before the judge, and all these white people are going to be shaming you and talking about you and making you feel, and then it's just like, damn, man, they got another one. You know what I mean? You know how you watch the news and it's just like, yo, he ain't black. Oh, damn, that's a brother. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High is going to allow it because you're not supposed to be hurting another black man. You're going to be shamed, right? 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 18, you don't provide for your own, man. The Christian church don't provide for its people. You know what I mean? They sit there and say, God bless you and all this. Meanwhile, you'll be homeless. And they'll lock them church doors in the wintertime. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, people are looking for a place to live and they just freeze and die in the snow. That's the Christian church. They don't look out for their own. Talked about that. Then we went into the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 44. It said, love your enemies. Now, this don't mean everybody. Your enemies in this context means like that brother you got beef with. That's simply what it means. This is a black man's book. Dang, man. You know what, man? I said some foul stuff, man. You know what? I was wrong for that. You know what I mean? I'm squash it. Man, you good? You need a drink? You know what I'm saying? That's how you're supposed to handle stuff like that. You ain't supposed to hold no grudges 10, 20 years. You looking at the sister, man, look at her. She got a dress on, a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You squash it with your sister, man. Look, girl, you know what I'm saying? I was sorry about that. You know, it ain't about that. Let's go get a drink. You know what I'm saying? You make everything cordial. You know what I mean? That's how we're going to get together as a nation. Because we're going to learn to live together. Because we're going to know that Yahweh shall want us to live a certain way. We can't be like the Christian church where they got cliques and, you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff like that. Man, it's real crazy in that Christian church. Finally, in the book of John, chapter 13 and verse 34, Christ commanded us to love one another. That means for us to treat each other according to how Christ wants us to treat each other. Right? We don't steal. We follow the 10 commandments. Actually, it's more than that. 613, you know, it's all kind of commandments we need to follow. You know what I mean? And that is basically for us all to stay within boundaries so that we can respect one another. You understand? And with that said, I'm going to pass the class over to priest and officer Amawan Gabar.
Hey, shalom, Israel. I'm going to read the announcements for today. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We got the Midwest Barbecue, July 25th through the 28th in Chicago. I think it's going to be at Rainbow Beach. A couple other places, but just get in contact with somebody so you could get more clarification on it. Akium and Aqua to check the bulletin board. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. That's it for the announcements. I'm going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers watching the stream. Amijum, Shabbat, Amijum, Barak, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, Yazmatah, Amijum Shabbat, Amijum, Barak, Yahweh, Shamar, Al, Adhan, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Yazmatah.
And if I could, Salaki, I want to go ahead and do a prayer real quick. I think we got time. Salaki, if I could. And this is for the brother right here. We got a brother in the class. And we just going to say a prayer to bless the brother. Salaki, I know I'm going a little bit out of protocol, but I forgot to do this. Now, this is how we was commanded to pray in the scriptures, right? Toward the east, toward Jerusalem, toward Yasharallah, right? And lift our hands up. And we can go into the scriptures about that. But what we're going to do, we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 8 through 13 in the Hebrew, and then we're going to repeat it in the English. And we're going to believe by faith that the Most High is going to answer our prayers. You understand? Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Ayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malak Watka. Taba'ah. Ratazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Barataza. Kaiwa. Ayah. Bashamayam. Nathan Lanawa. Lakam. Kal. Yawam. Wasalak Lanawa. Kawa. Nanawa. Kasalak Nawa. Kawa. Yanawa. Wala'a. Taba Ya Anawa. Banasai Yawan. Abba. Hawashai Nawa. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Waha'ala. Wahatapara. La'ai wa. Layam. Amen. Now what we just said in the English, in the book of Matthew chapter 6, in verse 8 through 13, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. And with that said, class dismissed.